Hello and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now, as you may recall from last episode, we started setting up a few more machines here in our mini factory, and actually got the Ender IO cable set up here, as well as some energy cubes from Mekanism. Just started playing with some of the more technology-heavy mods to get our production facility online. And right now we've got ore doubling as a result of the Mekanism machines, so that's pretty great. But if you remember our to-do list, solar power production was the next thing we wanted to do. We're getting a little bit of power from our water wheel, which was from immersive engineering, but the next stage for our base is really going to use a lot more electricity, and solar is a really great way to do that sustainably. So let's get started building our solar array. Now, we're still playing my Big Fork mod pack, and in here there's a couple of different options for solar power production. The default one that most people know is Mekanism's generators, which includes this advanced solar generator and a regular solar generator. And those are pretty useful, and they produce a lot of power. But I really like the Ender IO solar panels, just because you can tile them a lot easier. They're a lot easier to manage. There's also Project Red Solar, which I haven't done anything with, really. I think that's it for this pack. But just getting started with simple photovoltaic cells in Ender IO is pretty simple. You just need quite clear glass, which you can make in our alloy smelter, electrical steel, also made in our alloy smelter, photovoltaic plates, which are made from photovoltaic composite, which also, of course, is made in our alloy smelter, and then some grains of infinity and infinity bimetal gear, which, of course, is made with grains of infinity and iron. So to get started with that, we really need to get a bunch of these photovoltaic plates. Now, the photovoltaic composite is an interesting combination. You need lapis lazuli powder, coal powder, and silicon. And actually, all of those are made in our Mekanism crusher. So lapis lazuli, you put in the crusher and you get lapis lazuli powder. Sand gives us silicon powder, and coal gives us pulverized coal. So yeah, we have all of those ingredients sitting right here ready for us. I made a bunch of those earlier. And let's go ahead and start cooking up some of that powder. So we can just drop these into our crafting grid right here to get our composite. And we're going to make 61 of that to start. And we just go ahead and drop that into our alloy smelter, and that'll get cooking down. It takes a decent amount of time to cook all of that, but we're just going to let that go ahead and go. And in the meantime, we'll also start breaking down more of our ingredients to make a whole bunch more. So meet you back here in a second as soon as that finishes cooking. Okay, so we've cooked up a bunch of ingredients and we've got a few more cooking up in the background here, but we're going to go ahead and make our photovoltaic cells. Now, in Ender IO, there's 4 tiers, starting with the simple, the normal one, the advanced, and the vibrant. And each of these uses increasing higher tiers of ingredients. So for instance, you can make the simple one with just quite clear glass, which is just recooked glass, and electrical steel, which we made earlier for power conduits, while the regular photovoltaic cell uses energetic alloy, which of course is made from redstone, gold, and glowstone. And then, again, pulsating iron is the next tier up, which is made with iron and ender pearls, which we don't have a source of right now. And then vibrant alloy is made from the combination of the two, energetic alloy and ender pearls. So right now, we're going to focus on the regular, normal photovoltaic cells, because we have all of the ingredients, basically, to make these. We have a decent amount of fused quartz, and I've got more cooking in the background right now. I've got a bunch of photovoltaic plates already made, and we just need to make some capacitors and some daylight sensors, and we're good to go. So let's make a bunch of those real quick. Let's see here. I'm going to dump my grains of infinity in here. And let's just make, 16? We'll start with 16. That's a good place. And then we're going to need a bunch of daylight sensors. So let's say 8 of these. Oops, drop my quartz in here. And again, if I don't have my ingredients in my storage system, it's not going to automatically restock here. Oop, I'm also out of slabs, which is easy enough to correct. We'll just do a stack here. Yeah, that should be enough for now. Okay, let's make a few more here of these. Let's do... Oh, how am I out of quartz? Of course, there is no shortage of quartz in this mod pack. Again, ore generation is tweaked all the way up, so we can get a stack of quartz in just about a minute of mining here. It's relentlessly efficient when you have the ore generation clocked all the way up. And there we have it, a full stack. I'm going to get maybe 1 or 2 more stacks here while I'm still in this area, and then we will go back to the base and finish our building. Okay, there we go. 4 full stacks of quartz now. That should be plenty for our purposes today. Okay, where were we? Right. Just need 8 of these. Like so. 8 daylight sensors. Okay, great. What else are we missing here? I think we have everything now. Let's put our energetic alloy and all of our other pieces and bits in here. And it looks like our storage system is about out of room, so we're going to fix that. So let's grab up all of these. And just like that. Just need a little bit more quartz to finish this off. And I've been cooking up a bunch there. Okay, there we go. 8 solar panels ready to go. Now all we have to do is connect them all up to our electrical system here. Now, we need to figure out where we're actually going to build this and how we want to connect it. You know what? And I'm probably going to need a few more energy conduits than this, because they need to go all along the bottom. Now, I could just frame this in with a roof and use solar panels right on top here, and that would be an adequate way of doing it. At least for now, that's probably the simplest way, because we have a full view of the sky. So let's do that here. So again, we want all the way out in the open, which I guess is this end more than that end. So let's do this. We want it to be a little higher than that because we want it to be right on top. Just hop up there with our cobblestone. And I guess, yeah, we can just nerd pull up. That's probably the easiest way to go here. Mm-hmm. And we want these to be over this side a little bit here. So it's out in the open. There we go, just like that. And let's see here, let's bring it in the top of this. There. And again, that's only going to produce power during the day, but that's not a big deal for us. We're not using a whole lot yet. And soon we'll be storing a whole lot more power as well. Okay, just run a row of these down. Whoops, that's why. There. And now we just connect it up. And are we 1 short? We are 1 short. Okay, let's make a few more of these energy conduits real quick. Okay, and there we have it. Our full solar array all set up. And again, this is only 8, but each of these will give us 40 energy per tick. Or, yeah, tick. So, yeah, you can see we're already full on our energy cube completely. Now, what are we going to do with all of this energy? Well, I think the next thing we want to do, while we still have some time in this episode, is to go ahead and do the next tier of Mekanism, which will give us ore tripling. And I think I also want to upgrade our machines here. So let me show you how to do that real quick. So Mekanism makes it really easy to upgrade your machines to the next tier. And let's see here. So they have these things called installers, and it takes a basic machine for the basic tier installer and turns it into what they call a factory machine, which can process 3 items at once. You can then use that also to create an advanced machine, which can do 5 items at once, and so forth, all the way up to ultimate. And these are relatively cheap. We just need control circuits and redstone for this tier. The next tier we'll need advanced control circuits. So I think the only thing we're missing here is some basic control circuits, which we make in our metallurgic infuser with redstone and osmium. So let's go make a couple of those real quick. Okay, we've got our control circuits here, so let's go ahead and make a few of these. Just like that. I think we only need 4 to start. Is that even right? I think it's just, yeah, 4 to start. And 4. Great. So these are really easy. You just right-click on it and it automatically upgrades. And even if the machine's already processing, it will remember that it's processing. And you see each of these just becomes a green version of the thing that we saw before. So yeah, now you can see it takes 3 inputs and does 3 outputs automatically. So yeah, that is a excellent start. But now that those are upgraded, they're going to use a little bit more electricity, which we'll be balancing out with that solar. But we also want to do purification. So you can see here all of these different types of mechanism ores that it creates. You've got shards, clumps, dust, crystals, all of these things. So right now we are just making dust. And we actually want to, I think, next make clumps, which we get from purification. So the purification chamber is relatively easy. We actually build it with an enrichment chamber. And of course, as you remember from the previous episode, that's just a steel casing. So let's build a steel casing, and then we use that to make an enrichment chamber. Like so. Okay, and then we use that to make our purification chamber. What are we missing there? Advanced control circuits. We just need 2 of these. There we go. And just like that. Perfect. Now we have a purification chamber. Now, you may have noticed that when you're using the purification chamber, you need oxygen. Now, where do we get oxygen from? It kind of gives you a hint down here. You can get it from a gas tank. You can use flint, but we're not going to use flint. From a gas tank that has oxygen in it. So we're going to build an electrolytic separator. This takes water and splits it into hydrogen and oxygen. So H2O is water. So you get 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen when you split it. And that's a relatively simple recipe as well. We do need this electrolytic core, which we need iron, osmium, and gold dust for. So let's go get some of that real quick. Okay, so we got all of our dust now. We create the electrolytic core, which again, very simple recipe. And then the electrolytic separator, which is also a very simple recipe. Now, we also are going to want a place to put all of this stuff. So we want a Mekanism gas tank for now. These are very easy to make. And if we can, we probably want to upgrade them. Oh, we're a little short on osmium. Let's go get a bit more real quick. We had cooked up a bunch earlier. Okay, just like so. And we will turn those into advanced gas tanks just to increase our capacity there. And then the only thing we need left is our gas conduits to connect everything up, again, using the Ender IO conduits. Okay, so that is all of our machine parts. Let's go connect all these pieces and we can kind of see how this works. So we grab our energy cables again, because we're going to want to wire all this up. And this is where this piece of the puzzle is going to go. I'm going to put it right in between these two for our purification chamber, like so. And we're going to need to get water from somewhere. Let's see here. We have a bunch of sources of unlimited water in this particular game. Mod pack, I should say. The Endervar I find to be a very good one, but we need hardened glass for that, which includes fused quartz or other things, and that can make it relatively expensive. The other one is the aqueous accumulator here, which we can make very, very simply with just a little bit of tin and some other items, and that's from thermal expansion. And I think this will be plenty for us. Now the difference here is that the rate that they produce water, but I think we're going to go for the machine build here. I might do the aqueous accumulator. I think it works a little bit better. Okay, so we need tin, which we have plenty of, cooked down. So let's go grab some of that, and a few other things I'll grab along the way too. Okay, so we have our various bits and pieces here we need to build real quick. Just a gear, which we can turn into a copper gear. Oh, I don't know why it said that. Oh, 2 recipes, right. Do need to consolidate some of the recipes here. And then we use our tin that we just smelted to make a device frame. And then all we need is a couple of iron gears. Again, there's multiple recipes here. It also makes an iron ring, so we want to make sure we select, using the arrow here, the iron gear. Perfect. And then I think that should be... Come on, move out of the way. There we go. Should be just about everything. Oh, we still need the redstone servo. Right. Okay, the redstone servo. And that should be everything. Great. And I used up one of my buckets accidentally, so I will get myself another bucket just in case. Okay, now all we have to do is plonk this down somewhere surrounded by water. And make sure that we have the right pipes for that. There's our fluid conduits. Okay, great. Now, I think that we're going to do our actual electrolytic separation here-ish. And so for that, I think I'm actually going to knock out the wall and run our water in from the outside. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because I think at the end of the day, I'm going to end up with a lot of different recipes and ingredients that we're going to need. So I want to make sure that we have enough room here for everything that we're going to be doing moving ahead. Yeah, where do I put my wrench? That's what I really want, is my wrench. Okay, there we go. And we have many wrenches in this bag. Okay, so we're going to plop that down there, and let's just turn it around. Come on. I thought one of these rotated. No? One of these does not rotate? Well, we'll have to deal with that in a second. Let's see here. There's an easy way to get around that, and that's just to point this the other direction. Like so. And like so. That still did not work. Nope. This is just going to be very frustrating. There. Okay, finally. That's the right direction. Okay, now we have all of these things coming in. We've got power coming in and 2 things coming out. So we're just going to hop down here outside. And we're going to drop our fluid cable out the back, like so. We're going to come off the wall a little bit, and then down, just like this. There we go. And the aqueous accumulator doesn't need power, but it's most effective when it's surrounded by water source blocks. So we do want to carve out a little space for it, like so, and we're going to plunk it down in the middle of this and surround it with water. And that's, again, why I wanted 2 of my buckets. We just need to go grab some water real quick. Yeah, it looks like the coast is the closest source of water. One and 2. Okay. And of course, everybody knows here at this point that if you put 2 water source blocks in corners next to each other, they will create infinite water in between. So we put one here, and we put another one right here, and then I'll fill in that block, and then we just need to do the third corner, and it should automatically, oh, there we go, all fill in. And then our aqueous accumulator goes down right in the middle. And yeah, that should just automatically start filling. There we go, 8,000 buckets, or 8,000 millibuckets. And put that on top. Change it so it's extract only. There we go. And that should slowly begin moving our water up. Perfect. Now let's just dig our way back in real quick. Shouldn't have to come back out here for a little while. And you can already hear this humming away. So, oxygen and hydrogen. Now, let's hope I put it the right direction, because I think I needed to reverse it, but then I could have gone through all that trouble for nothing. If we put this down, that's hydrogen. Purification chamber uses oxygen, and that'll be oxygen. Perfect. Just like so. And we're just going to tell it to dump the excess on either side. So once one of these fills up, we won't just be, stuck with it. Now we run our cables down and out. We have to configure our gas tanks like we do everything else. And I think we just need to make sure that we have one correct input. Yeah, that should be that one. And tell this to extract. And tell this to insert. And then just tell the purification chamber that it should be getting our purple from the top. There we go. Like so. And auto eject. There we go. Nope. Did not work. Did not work. I wonder if I have to bring this off the bottom. Yeah, sometimes these tanks are fidgety in this particular version. Let's do that. Extract. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Well, if that's not going to work, there's only one other position that we can put them in, and that is off of the top. Let me fidget with this. Okay, that was simple enough. I just needed to change the redstone mode to always active, which was not set by default. So this should slowly be ticking away, and hydrogen is just going to pile up here, and that's going to be perfectly fine for this setup for now. So there we have it. Now we have our purification chamber full of oxygen, And actually, we should go ahead and upgrade our purification chamber like we did our other machines, right? And turn it into a purification factory. So let's go get our tier installer, and we'll just make another one of these real quick. Easy enough. Drop that in there. And now it will match all of our others. We could do, I don't think the electrolytic separator has an upgrade, if I remember correctly. You can add upgrades, but you can't change it into a factory. So yeah, that should be it. And there we have it, lots of oxygen coming in. Now, let's show what the result of that is. If I drop a stack of iron into my purifying factory, and make sure I have auto eject turned on, it is going to turn it into an iron clump. And we're going to tell our iron clump to output to the right into our enriching factory. And we're going to tell this that the input is on the left, just like so. Oh, right, we are missing a step. We need a crushing factory in between, so let's do that real fast. Actually, I might relay all of this out, just for efficiency. Okay, there we go, shuffle things around. So, our electrolytic separator is producing our hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen comes out of the tank here, and into our purification factory, where our iron ore is turned into iron clumps, and we get 1 ore for 3 clumps. Those 3 clumps go into the crushing factory, and that crushing factory crushes the clumps into the next item, dirty iron dust. The dirty iron dust gets enriched in the enriching factory into regular iron dust, and that regular iron dust then gets put into the smelting factory where it becomes an iron ingot. So through this long chain, we turn 1 ore into 3 ingots at the other end. So that's pretty efficient. And of course, we can do this with many different inputs and outputs. All of our different metals can all be put through this system. Now, to go to the next tier, we're going to need a few other things, and it starts to get pretty complicated from here. This one is basic. We're just splitting 1 fluid into 2 gases. But the next tier up in Mekanism, for producing the things above clumps, if I remember correctly, is the shards. Let's see here. Right, iron shards, and that requires the chemical injection chamber, and that uses hydrogen chloride. That means we have to combine various chemicals, including chlorine. And chlorine, of course, you have to make from brine and separate that. And brine you have to make in the thermal evaporation controller. This is a giant copper tower. It's pretty huge. So to get to the 4-to-1 ratio requires a whole lot more building. But I don't think we're going to do that this episode. We're going to save that for a future episode. For today, I think that's a pretty good build. We've got ore tripling set up now. We've got a few new machines, and we got solar panels put in place from Ender IO. So we're getting a lot more electricity to power all this stuff. And as you can see here, we're still keeping up pretty well with our requirements for our current setup. Okay, so the only thing that was left to do is to update our list. We've now got solar panels online, and we improved our Mekanism purifying setup so that we have 3-to-1 output. Now, for the next couple of episodes, before we get back to Mekanism, I want to try out a few other mods here. I definitely want to get into mystical agriculture, which is one of my favorite mods. It basically allows you to create craftable plants of every type of raw material in the game. You can create iron plants, you can create skeleton plants, you can create all sorts of interesting plants there. So that's a really big mod that gives us a lot of extra stuff. I also want to get into immersive engineering. Immersive engineering has a lot of more machines, but they're all giant multi-block structures. And we saw a couple of those earlier when we were building our water wheels. But I really want to keep pushing on that because there are things like the garden cloche that I want to build out here, which is a really efficient way of growing plants from mystical agriculture. And then after that, I think I want to start playing around with some of the more advanced upgrades and modifiers that we can do in Tinker's Construct. We have all of these great tools, but I think I want to start making some unbreakable and sharp and more efficient and silk touch tools, and also we start making our armor as well. So we'll do that in a future episode as well. So I think this is a pretty good place to stop. So thank you again for joining us here on Enterprise Architecture, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends.